He is what they call a professional, world-renowned shitcoin expert, Maurits Neo. So you posted a video driving a Ferrari in Dubai and you're posting your Solana, and it was like, I don't know, how much did you make of that trade?
I think this one was like 35,000, but I only put like 2,000 in, so it's like a 15x, 40 minutes.
$2,000 to $35,000 in 45 minutes. Like, money is not real. Some people call it luck. Is it luck?
I'm still in high school.
Wow, high school with $100,000. You made your first $1 million at
17.
You made like connections with billionaires when you were a kid, and you started managing money for them, or some hedge fund. What's if someone you wanted to find? Let's say they invest in all these, and they want to know how do they find the next best coin to invest in. What's a day in your life like?
I had the whole 3-hour morning routine.
Why do all this? You're a young kid. You're in school. Couldn't you just go to school, relax?
Yeah, I think.
Good afternoon, and thank you for returning back to the channel, the podcast where we discuss business, self-improvement, and happiness. And today, we're going to dive into those three, but one topic as well, which I'm very interested in. Today, we have Maurits. If you guys don't know, Maurits Neo. If you guys don't know who he is what they call a professional, world-renowned shitcoin expert. I'm just messing with you guys, but that's who you are to a lot of that's basically one way of who you are. One way of describing who you are. The first time I met Maurits was very interesting. We were at a dinner last year in Dubai, obviously. And we were at this big table. It was like a mastermind. And there was, Luke Belmar, Jordan Welch, members of the owners of massive crypto companies. Can't say who. Arab, a lot of people. And I was thinking, who is this 17-year-old kid, that's sitting opposite me? Who let this kid in here? And I'm usually the youngest person in these kind of functions. Well, I say that now, but I think it's been a long time since I've been the youngest. I'm 22. But there was a 17-year-old kid who was basically an expert when it came to investing in meme coins and investing in crypto in general, but especially in meme coins. And the other day I saw you posted a video driving a Ferrari in Dubai, and you're posting your Solana, a screenshot of how much Solana you made of one trade. And it was I don't know, how much did you make of that trade?
I think this one was like 35,000, but I only put like 2,000 in, so it's like a 15x in like 40 minutes.
$2,000 to $35,000 in 45 minutes. Money is not real. So it's insane what you can do if you know what you're doing in crypto. Some people call it luck. Today we're going to find out from the man himself, is it luck? What's his process? How does he find these coins? He's been documenting his whole journey on Twitter and Instagram from when he was very young. He has a very interesting story. He's about to get into Harvard, by the way, guys. This kid's interesting. He's very interesting. He managed billionaires' money at a young age. We're going to get into it. Maurits, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to Dubai. Real quick, I would like you to introduce yourself and talk a bit about your story growing up. I've given you a little bit of introduction. Correct me if I'm wrong about anything. But yeah, take it away.
Yeah, so Maurits, online as Maurits Neo. I was born in South Africa. At a very early age, I got lucky enough to get into crypto. So at the age of 12, I bought my first, little piece of Bitcoin, not a whole Bitcoin at that time. Wow. But originally how I got into it, funny enough, is I watched The Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, damn, this is cool. At that point, I really that was the first spark to make money. I like the fast cars, the pretty girls, all the degeneracy aside. And then I thought, these people do stocks. I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. Rich people do stocks. So that's kind of what I believe. I didn't know what it meant. I'm a 12-year-old kid. But then very quickly I realized that I couldn't sign up for any trading platforms under 18. And especially in South Africa, it was very difficult. And that's when I first stumbled upon crypto, because crypto, I didn't need to put in my name. Yeah. I didn't need to put in anything, but I could freely just go on the internet and start, playing around with these things. Yeah. So that's when I first got into cryptos, because I couldn't get into trading originally. Yeah. And then I bought my first little piece of crypto in 2019. But I realized I needed some cash flow, because I had like $100 that had been saved up from selling sweets and doing the normal things as a kid. So I needed some cash flow. And then I discovered drop shipping. This was in 2019. I was watching Beheza, old Alex Becker, and I was kind of learning everything from the internet. So at the age of 12, almost 13 now, I started my first first store, and I was doing tiny numbers, like forever. Like I wasn't 12-year-old dropshipping millionaire. I was doing a couple $100. I was selling this fitness product, these 6-pack ab simulators, and I would pay these meme pages to basically show this ad that I filmed. And that was how I made my first ever money really online was from ecom, but very quickly ran dry. I tried to do paid ads. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was a little kid, so very quickly I blew that money. But I'd still saved up a couple $100 that I then used to get into crypto. And so in 2020, my conviction really grew into crypto. I didn't agree kind of how the government was treating things, and I really saw it was like crypto was the solution. I saw, they were printing a bunch of money, and I thought, decentralization has only become more and more popular. And this was the last cycle. So in around March 2020, I kind of deployed very, very well timed, the little money I'd saved up into crypto. At first I bought some Bitcoin, and then I started thinking like, I only have such little money. Like even if this goes crazy, and I thought, okay, maybe Bitcoin goes to 50K, and was around 10K at this time, like 5X. That's really good. But then, I turned my $800 into $4,000. Like, that's not life changing. So I discovered Ethereum. Like even then it's already at a couple billion market cap. Like, this is going to make me rich. So I was looking into some projects, and then I'd found Vitalik Buterin, the owner of Ethereum, and he was talking about the importance of layer 2 solutions, which is basically protocols built on Ethereum. And then I found Polygon Matic, which at the time was under a 50 million market cap. And I went basically all in on this project. Not only bought some, but I was trying to network with the team and things like that to try work with them. And at this time, Polygon was massively undervalued, and was one of the top 3 performers of the cycle. Only BNB and one other coin performed better. So I rode that up. I sold some too early, sold some too late. But at that time I was 15 by the end of the cycle, and I was sitting on a good 6 figures at this time. I'm still in high school, and
high school with $100,000.
Yeah. At the time, I was 15, 16.
You made your first $1 million at
17.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's how I originally got started into crypto, and Polygon was like my first breakthrough play. I've had better plays since then, but last cycle that was like my big thing. And then the bear market came, and I'd literally sold so close to the top. I was in an Uber on my way to my friend's house, and my Uber driver started telling me, I'm quitting Uber, I'm buying Shiba Inu, I'm going to be a millionaire. And just before, I'd read when the shoe shiner starts giving you stock tips, that's when the market's at its top. And I'd be reading a book a week for years, and that passage just kind of played in my head. So very quickly, I ordered the same guy back to my house. I went to my PC, and I exited like 80% of my positions. And at this time, Bitcoin was at 65K. That's and literally within like 2 weeks, the market came crumbling down. Oh my God. But I had a lot of my money stored on BlockFi, which was they lent a bunch of money to FTX.
Oh my God,
and they went bankrupt. So even though I had predicted things right, where I was holding my crypto went bankrupt. So I woke up one morning and I couldn't access my money. Like it's still on your screen. Like I'm seeing that this money was like $250,000. Wow. But I couldn't do anything with it. It was fake money. Oh my God. So
just numbers on the screen.
Yeah, just numbers on the screen completely. So I'd lost everything. I was like, damn, I worked so hard for this. And then I lost it all. And I was like, damn, I'm really like starting from scratch now. And that's when I really started with the personal brand. I ran an agency to get cash flow again because I wanted to buy in the bear market. But that's kind of the brief summary of the first couple of years.
Nice, amazing. Yeah, and I guess at 17, then you made your first million. But before that, I want to talk about when did the billionaire story come in? I heard like just recently from your boy here. He was like, you made like connections with billionaires when you were a kid, and you started managing money for them or some hedge fund.
Yeah, because I'd been like telling a lot of people in Cape Town about like crypto and stuff like that, like before it came up. So when it started blowing up, and I was showing them some of my plays I was taking, I built a bit of a rep with a lot of these TradFi guys, these smart money people. And I was interning at this hedge fund in Cape Town. So every day after school, this was kind of in the bear market, so it was around 16. So I'd have school every morning from 7:30 to 3 o'clock, and then I would just ride my bicycle to this hedge fund, and then I would be there from like 3 to 6, sitting in on basically all these very intelligent, traditional people that understood the traditional markets. Yeah. I would sit there as a 16-year-old and teach them about blockchain, about crypto. So these guys, they know bonds, they know stocks, but crypto was my thing. So I was sitting on these board meetings and they're talking, and because it was emerging markets fund, which is basically they invest in South Africa, Brazil, Egypt, crypto forms so crypto forms a big part in these developing countries. So I'd sit and I was basically teach these people about crypto, about blockchain, and very quickly the owner of the fund took quite a liking to me because I was very hardworking. I was very young. He knew I was bright, and then he put in a very good word with me from this billionaire in London. and he was like, you need to have a chat to this kid. This guy in London also owns a hedge fund. So these two hedge fund guys, he was like, you need to talk to this kid, Maurits. And then I had a call scheduled with him, and then he never showed up. I'm like, fair enough. What is this billionaire going to talk to a 16-year-old? But then a couple months later, I read he bought out FTX, his company bought out blockchain.com from FTX when they went bankrupt. I'm like, wait, this is crazy. Like, wait, I still have this guy's email from the Zoom invite. So I'm like, damn, how do I need to get his attention? And it goes back to the Wolf of Wall Street. In his job interview, he gave a stock tip.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to get his attention. So I sent him this coin. At the time was BitTensor Tau, which was still one of my favorite AI coins. And I'm like, hey, take a look at this. And I just sent the ticker with a winky face. Again, he didn't reply. Fair enough. But very quickly, this coin ran like 5-6x. And I replied to my own email saying, hope you got in, winky face. Like, very arrogant. I'm this billionaire. I'm this little kid from South Africa.
Wow. But you're already providing value.
Yeah, completely. And then I don't think he ever bought it, but he saw it. And when I replied to it, I think he checked the chart and he was like, timestamp, okay, he sent this in April, now it's a damn, okay. And then I had a Zoom call with him, and it was meant to just be 15 minutes just to say hello. And his assistant comes in, we're talking, and then he tells his assistant, no, cancel calls, I want to speak to this kid. So we end up talking for an hour, and he tells me, if you're ever in London, like, come past, I'd love to have you by the offices. I'm like, yeah, I'll be in London next week. I was never planning on going to London, but I jumped at the opportunity. I booked this tiny Airbnb close to the offices, and I went there, and I worked there for a little bit, and I very much impressed him. I was always the first one there. Offices open at 8. I'm there 7:30 already working. The guys come in and they leave, 5-6 o'clock to go home, and I'm still there. So they're thinking, okay, this kid was here before I came in, and now he's still there, and I'm working for free. Actually paid to work there to get flights, to get everything. And I was just trying to absorb as much information as possible and connect to these people. And they ran a massive fund, and they have a lot of fingers in crypto. So that was kind of like opened a new world for me, instead of now I'm just investing and doing marketing for these projects. But this really like led the TradFi, the VC, the smart money that now I had access to through that. So I built a bunch of valuable connections. Still to this day is a mentor of mine. So I'm happy about that. And I think jumping at opportunities.
Are you allowed
like
to mention
that.
the names of these?
I'd rather not. They stay very private.
Fair enough. Bro, I want to ask you, why? Like, why do all this? You're a young kid. You're in school. Why did you start trying to make money with e-commerce? Why? Couldn't you just go to school, relax? And obviously, I'm playing devil's advocate. I did the same thing. But why? What was your why?
Yeah, I think it's a deeper question than, like, a lot of people see what's presented, the fast cars, all these crazy P&Ls, traveling, meeting these cool people, but it's a lot of sacrifices as well. Like, I remember as a young kid, I mean, literally from like 12 to 17, like I was completely locked in. I didn't go to any of the parties. My friends like, go play football. I'm like, no, I've got to do this and this today. So like I did have to sacrifice a lot for it. Like, it's not just only an upside. Everything has a downside. So I had to give up a lot for it. But my why is simply just to live the best possible life. I know for the lifestyle that I want to do and the things I want to do, I need money. And I quite enjoy the game. Like, as a kid, like selling sweets and stuff is kind of scaled up to now what I'm doing now is like, I'm trading and investing with 7 figures. It's like it's this continuation, and I love the progression of it. Like, I love that feeling. I think I used to play a lot of games as a kid, and like I love that feeling of leveling up the character, getting better, unlocking new things. And for me, it's become like the same thing in real life. Like, it really feels like I'm playing GTA like in real life. I'm like this young guy, I can go wherever, I can rent a nice car, I can stay at a nice place, and meeting all these cool people that I used to like only see online. So it's I think my why is just living the best possible life. I think a better question is, why not? Like, why would you not go for it? Why would you not take the risk? Why would you not go all in on something? Because I think living an average life is the worst possible existence. So for me, it was always like, why not? You have this one life, make the complete most of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense, to be fair. All right, real quick, there's a lot of people that are tuning in this video, and they could be like 30-year-old, and they're tuning in this video, and we want to give them some value, like how you gave that stock, how you gave that hedge fund guy. Could you tell us, let's say 3 or 5 projects to go in now? You can keep some blue chip, some very degen. You can say like, you can say, listen, the degen ones, it's up to you. It's at your own risk. You could go to completely zero. And then just ones that you're looking at, right? Obviously, and you don't make 100% of the trades you make. You don't make money on 100% of the trades you make. And then I want to know, how do you find these projects? So what's the solution? Like, if somebody wanted to find, let's say they invest in all these, but they don't have access to another one of your podcasts, and they want to know, how do they find the next best coin to invest in? And then also, last question, tell us, what's the craziest return you made on one coin?
In terms of safer plays, my favorite 2 coins, the ones I hold the most of, is still BitTensor Tau, which is basically like the Bitcoin of AI coins.
How do you spell that? Or like, what's the ticker symbol?
TAO. So
Tau.
Tau.
Yeah.
It's the same coin I recommend to that guy. And I've been in since $50, and now it's around 600. But it's still my biggest investment by far, because you need to look at narrative. I'll talk about why you need to look at these coins as well. Is narrative. AI coins, I think, are going to go absolutely crazy. You have, Nvidia over 2 trillion valuation. You have all this hype. The same plays over into AI coins. So, and then you look at the tokenomics. And
what do they do with AI? What does Tau do with AI?
So Tau is basically like a decentralized learning platform. So why I stumbled upon this project originally is that I was on ChatGPT, and we'll talk about this. It's also my greatest ever return, one of them. Like, I went in very heavily with this. But I was on ChatGPT, and I was like, write a poem about Joe Biden. Oh, Joe Biden, you're so old and wise. Write a poem about Donald Trump. Hey, we can't talk about politically sensitive figures. I'm like, okay, so these information models, which are how the masses get access to information, are completely warped. Like, they can't write a poem about Andrew Tate, but they can write one about Greta Thunberg. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is completely warped. People don't want this biased information.
Such an interesting guy, Maurits.
And when and then BitTensor Tau is basically a decentralized AI model. So it's chained with data on chain. So you can see, like, transparently what information it's being fed. Because Google is feeding these AIs information. You don't know what it's feeding it. Microsoft is feeding ChatGPT information. You know what it's feeding it. And this biased information creates these biased outputs. That's why I have these very, leftist AIs. When you ask it to generate a picture of the founding fathers, it's like LGBT women and like, it's random. It's not historically accurate at all. So basically, it's trained decentralized and on chain, so that it's transparent, the information it's being fed, and there's no single point of failure. If Google's, cloud computers shut down, the thing doesn't work. But it's BitTensor, it's trained off everyone's computer. So if you want to mine the network, you basically give up computing power from your PC. So your PC right now at home is doing nothing.
Yes.
And 98% of PCs at all time are not working. So you get paid in Tau to rent out your computer. So say now
that's what all the projects do, no?
A lot of them, but it depends on. I mean, you have Render and you have like a bunch of these different AI projects. But what makes, for me, BitTensor so attractive is the tokenomics. So it has 21 million.
Sorry, what's BitTensor?
BitTensor is Tau. It's a TAO is the ticker, but BitTensor is the name of the project. But basically, what makes it so attractive for me is that you have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. You have 21 million max supply. A lot of these AI coins are very inflationary. They just keep adding more tokens.
Sorry to interrupt.
Of course.
What does AI have to do with BitTensor?
That is what the project does. So every crypto coin has its own purpose. Yes. So Bitcoin is very different to ETH, and Tau is basically the coin for BitTensor, which is this AI program. So Solana, every coin has something different, and the coin is basically like what fuels the ecosystem. Like Solana, the coin is what you use to trade on the Solana network, which you can use to buy the meme coins, whatever it is, and it's the same in BitTensor.
But I want to know just where artificial intelligence plays into it.
Yeah, so basically it's decentralized computing power. So say I have this AI model that I want to train. So I want to train my own ChatGPT that specifically is good at creating content ideas, whatever it is. Instead of now buying a supercomputer like Google does, they have these massive, warehouses with thousands of computers. I can just rent out, your computer and pay you in Tau, and then they get access to your computer, and I train my model using your computer. So I'm renting out a bunch of different computing space instead of using one centralized server where you then have to buy some supercomputer because there's also not enough GPUs. And it's the most in-demand resource in the world is computing power. That's why Nvidia is at plus 2 trillion. Whereas gold and things like this are also valuable. Computing power right now is the most in-demand thing. Everyone wants it, and majority of it is not utilized. My computer right now is sitting at home doing nothing. So basically it fixes that solution in terms of such a scarce resource like computing power. Another project I really like is AVAX, Avalanche. I think for crypto gaming, also narrative-based, has some of the biggest influencers on board with it. And it's basically what all the games are being built on. So like, in the gold rush, sell the shovels. You have all these different games being built on. You can make crazy returns, like investing in these single games, like Axie Infinity last run. I made a lot of money off.
So Axie Infinity is on
No, AVAX, Axie Infinity is on ETH, but there's a lot of games now being built. It's become like the breeding hub for these games. So instead of investing in these singular games where we have high risk, it might get players, it might not, rather than invest in the underlying ecosystem that's fueling everything. And that's been a thesis a lot of time, like where you want to just invest in the underlying asset instead of speculating on these smaller coins.
And GameFi is very interesting because, previously people used to play games and earn these in-game currency, which would be completely useless. But now you can get this in-game currency and actually make a living by playing games. That's why I feel like that's super interesting. I think even GTA, there's rumors that the coin that you're going to use in GTA is going to be a real cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I think things like that are super cool because not only you have a financial reward to it, like, you know, I called this guy in the Philippines, my friend, and he was just earning like $70 an hour playing Axie Infinity.
Yes.
And he's like, that's a ridiculous amount of money. So these whole villages playing these play to earn games. But I think it goes a level deeper than that. It's also ownership. Say your Fortnite skin, you pay for your Fortnite skin, you know, you can get banned, you can get a bunch of things and you lose access to that.
Yes.
Whereas if you actually own it as an NFT, and it doesn't need to be this complicated NFT things, it'll be so seamless, like internet technology is now.
Yeah.
Like it's still so in the early days. It won't have to be this NFT, you have to register.
Yeah, it'll probably just be on your gallery, on your photo
Yeah,
gallery.
you won't even know that it's an NFT, but you'll be able to sell it. I mean, similar to like CSGO skins are kind of already like that, in the sense that, you know, you can sell them and you have this marketplace and it'll be built in through the game. And so you actually get, you know, rewarded. And even if you never trade it back to its own currency, you can have in-game where, like, you know, say you sell your skin and now you can buy this other skin. Whereas in Fortnite, you know, you can't scale your skin. You've bought the skin, you've paid real money to them, and now, you know, you can't do anything with it.
Not
you
much
can,
marketplace, yeah.
And you can trade it for new things, or you can even swap it from, you know, say Epic Games owns this other game.
Yeah.
That you have this whole ecosystem and it becomes like a marketplace of itself.
Yes, interesting. Okay. All very interesting stuff. I like what you said about I mean, it's a very common phrase in the gold rush.
Sell the
the
shovels. Yeah.
Because everybody wants to mine gold, but the real money is in the selling shovels. Wouldn't you say that, for example, Binance or BNB would be a good token because of that? Because they're honestly, that's one thing which scares people a bit about crypto, is that a lot of, like, the number one place really to buy crypto is Binance, and it's becoming almost a monopoly where they're dominating the industry so much. Is that something you think about?
Yeah, I think if you read the original white paper from Satoshi, his vision for Bitcoin is not at all what it's become. It's
Really?
become less. It was made to be like a peer-to-peer. That's what it's called, a peer-to-peer transaction network. But it's not like that at all. It's become more of like a digital value.
Gold, yeah.
Digital gold is more than it is. Like, people don't pay each other in Bitcoin very often.
Yes.
It's become more of
Should be
a hedge against inflation, a store of wealth. So I don't think his original vision of decentralization is true at all, because you have a few mining places. You know, these places in like Mongolia, these massive, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, these massive factories with cheap energy that have, you know, they control, like, you know, a good amount of the network, nothing too crazy, but a few central players control the network. I mean, Michael Saylor owns 2% of Bitcoin. I mean, he's running it like a meme coin. That's a ridiculous amount for any one entity to hold. If they dump, like, it would wreck the chart. Same with these players like Binance. They control so much, not necessarily of Bitcoin, but of the altcoins. I mean, it's at 2 trillion now, so that's 400 billion basically. Yeah, I mean, this is assets and things like that. But so it's a ridiculous amount that these few entities hold. And also the mining is not decentralized at all. There's a few key players. I think the top 10 control 50% of the network, which is like insane. And you have these gigafactories, and if they get raided, they get shut down, you know, the network takes a real hit. So it isn't as decentralized as people think. And even things like Ethereum, like, you know, there's a face behind Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, that's a person. We saw what happened to Ton when Pavel Durov, you know, the price of these coins, you know, tanked. But that's why I think Bitcoin is still the safest and the biggest by far, is because there is no entity behind it. If Vitalik Buterin dies, Ethereum is going to tank at least 50% just off the news. And they can put some new place, they can try to fix some things. But, you know, we saw when Pavel went to jail, what happened to Ton. So Bitcoin, there is no single entity behind it. And Satoshi either has to be dead or he has to be a billionaire, because he has 50 billion in tokens that he's never touched. The amount of discipline and stoicism that it takes to have access to 50 billion liquid that he could sell and disappear forever, as in those tokens have still never been moved. So you have to be either the most stoic person ever, he died 10 years ago before the Bitcoins were worth anything, or he's a billionaire himself. And I think it's either one of those things. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the known tech entrepreneurs that we know is, you know, Satoshi at the same time. I have a conspiracy theory that it might be Elon Musk. There's a few signs at it.
Interesting.
And he also started X, which was also, you know, PayPal. He started the first, you know, centralized payment exchange, and then he got bored down there. A bunch of things went down there. And then very quickly after, and then Bitcoin was started, and he learned the same coding language that Bitcoin is built on. So there's a bunch of little conspiracy theories like that.
But I don't think he'd be promoting Doge so much.
maybe. But also, he was one of the only people that would need the money. You know, what's extra 50 billion to him. So overall, I think Bitcoin is by far if you just want exposure, just touch Bitcoin. I wouldn't even touch ETH.
Really?
If you want to go 10 years down the line. I think ETH will do better this cycle.
You don't think at some point there'll be I don't know, I just feel like, okay, yes, digital gold, but you know, with Bitcoin, I just feel like
it's old, it's outdated.
It's old, it's outdated, it's so useless, you know?
But it's terrible to use. If you ever try like you actually actively using Bitcoin, it's a bit of a nightmare. But it isn't. There's already a million better coins with better tech. And out of the 17, 18 cycle, out of the top 100 coins, there's only like 5 that remain besides Bitcoin and ETH. So you're really like finding a needle in a haystack. And I think by the end of this cycle, there'll be, you know, even the ones that are top coins now, Solana in 10 years time might not be the coin right now. It has good tech, it's fast, but there'll always be coins that get better tech. And the problem is that it's very difficult to update the network. True. You know, when a new Instagram comes out, you know, people can switch over and Instagram can update to fix things. But with these cryptos, they're not, you know, able to be as, you know, especially with Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter about the
Ethereum update took like 2 years.
Yeah. But
sorry.
The value of Bitcoin isn't purely in its tech. It's because it's the first mover. And you know, there's plenty of things that have more use cases than gold, but it's just agreed upon that gold. Like, why is gold so valuable?
But I mean, they use it for a lot of things. It's a great conductor of electricity. So if you see any headphone jack, it always has gold.
No, but there's better things. I mean, that's not where the value of gold comes in. The value of gold comes in because it's scarce and it's unanimously agreed upon that it's value. It's the same with Bitcoin.
But
extremely
it
scarce.
has some utility. Like, there's not a single woman that. Not a single wealthy woman that doesn't wear a bunch of gold. Even men wear it.
Yeah, but that's because it's agreed upon that it's scarce.
Yes.
You know, it's the same with, you know, there's an actual inherent value, like the characteristics of gold. Yeah, okay, it's malleable, it's shiny and things like that. But it has value because we agree upon that it has value. It's not some magical, you know, currency and it's sitting in bank vault. It's not being used.
Yeah, but I mean, at worst case, like, you can't hold your Bitcoin and flex it the way you can hold a gold chain and flex it, you know?
But it's the same way you can't hold your Instagram profile, but people would rather have the blue tick on Instagram, you know, have good followers. Everything is being
You can see
moved.
that publicly, but I mean, like, no, like,
same with your wallet.
Right, but
if you really wanted to.
If you wanted to, but I feel like it's not the culture to. And by the way, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a big believer.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm just playing devil's advocate for the viewers. And personally, like, I like Bitcoin, obviously, don't get me wrong, but it's not my favorite. But that's just because purely I'm more, when I go into crypto, I want to be more risky.
For me too, I don't hold much Bitcoin. It's my sense of risk has become so skewed that Bitcoin is too safe for me. I mean, for majority of people, it's like this. But making, you know, 50% in the bull run maybe from now, like that isn't attractive for me.
50% even sounds small.
Yeah. So to me, especially now that I've gone so degenerate in these gambling coins. I mean, but I think forever, like, meme coins destroy your sense of money. Like, you know, I've had days where I'm up like over $100,000 in minutes. I'm like, and people work years for this, and good, honest, hardworking people will work years for this. Like, the sense of like money becomes so skewed that it becomes like, becomes like a game, really. Like, it doesn't feel real.
What's the most you made off a coin?
One coin, probably around $300,000. But I rather take profits early than let it run too long. Like, you know, one thing that my mentor told me is no one's ever gone broke from taking profits. And you know, I think that's a massive, you know, thing that people make mistake in meme coins. I see people go up 10x and still lose money somehow.
The Dogecoin millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Those type of stuff. I mean, take profits.
Although he's probably made the right decision by now. I mean, like,
maybe it's not back where it was, but it will be. But I think
taking a lot of Doge.
Yeah. And taking profits incrementally is the best way to do it. You know, sell 20% and 50% gains. Like, ladder out your investments. Don't be all in and then all out. Like, slowly decrease your risk. And same as the bull run continues. Like, in the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to start cashing out, you know, 5% a month over the next couple of times. So by the end of the bull run comes, I have, you know, a couple $100,000 or $1 million sitting in cash, because you don't want to be left holding the bag. You know,
it always happens to me, bro.
Yes.
The bull run ended, I'm still holding all the coins.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the club, you know, after the lights turn on and like party's over. You don't want to be the last one on the dance floor. So, you know, get out, and at some point it's so much money that it becomes like, say I earn another 10-20%, it's not worth the 80% downside. And you know, sell out incrementally, take profits.
So you're taking profits from next.
I think Q1 2024 is when the market top will come. I think it will come sooner, because this is the first cycle ever that almost everyone in crypto has been in a cycle before. Last cycle was a lot of people's first cycle. Some of them were in the 17, 18. But this is the first cycle where everyone in crypto basically has been in before. They've all felt what it feels like to lose 80%. And humans are more scared of pain than they are of potential pleasure.
You think so? The greed is not. You think the greed?
I think people have learned their lesson. I think a lot of people got hurt really badly by the last cycle, so they don't care to earn an extra 10-20% to risk an 80% downside, because they felt what that feels like before. There's no longer this we're going up forever narrative, because that was the narrative last time and everyone got wrecked. So I think profit taking will happen earlier.
So you don't think, they say 1 year after the halving, which would be April, you don't think it's going to reach until April?
I think the top will come end of Q1, so around March, April, May, maybe.
End of Q1. Okay.
And that's how I'm betting. But depending on how things play out, there's also a bit of a different cycle because now you have the institutional players.
Yes.
You have BlackRock and these type of people. But there's a whole narrative that last cycle was that okay, smart money's coming in, we're early.
Yeah.
Retail's never early. I mean, these guys I've been talking to, these hedge fund guys. They've been trading Bitcoin at the Goldman Sachs trading desk since 2013. Even if it wasn't under the company's name, these guys have been exposed with their own money, even in funds. They've been exposed for years. There's not the housewives are not getting in some institutional. They're not beating out some revolutionary tech. These guys. I mean, that's one of the things I learned from working at these hedge funds. Like people have no idea how deep it goes.
They're
like,
smart.
They scrutinize
like
every
quants.
single detail. Yeah.
You're
I mean, they
quants.
have. Of course. They have like 50 people. PhDs looking into companies, looking into investments. They find every small detail because those little edges are how they make their money.
Yeah.
And when you're throwing billions into something, these 1-2% differences make a big difference.
Yeah.
So, they're not early. The retail people, these people sitting on TikTok are not getting into these coins before these smart money players are. But what I found really interesting the last couple of months has been the shift away from Bitcoin, and these institutional people are getting into the meme coins. That is the one thing I feel like retail was earlier with and are more untapped with because it's a sense of culture.
Yes,
and you can't dictate culture with money. So you have all these big memes that are coming on TikTok, like Chill Guy is a great example.
Yeah.
That's the one place like retail people are beating out these hedge fund people in meme coins because they're sitting on TikTok, they're seeing the Chill Guy meme and they're like, okay, there's a coin about this, okay, it's going up. So then you throw it in there and it goes to 800 million market cap. And I know retail people that aren't even in crypto, they're doing a couple $1,000s and they have like $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 sitting there in Chill Guy coin. And the hedge fund quants can't predict that because it's memes, it's culture, it's like a movement. And you can't pay for any movements. Movements can't be bought. You see all the biggest, culture shifts, they often are against the interests of big money because it's very difficult to control that. Yeah. So meme coins are the one place that people are very early on. And that's why it's the one place where you can have a competitive advantage. Even in the utility coins, they're so ran by these VCs that have these early allocations and they completely control the narrative. They get early tokens, they buy under market value, they get unlocked and they dump on people. And people are tired of that. Last couple of cycles, everyone's been burnt on these big promises of, this is the Web3 project. This is going to revolutionize.
I've never been in a utility. I've never seen a utility token have utility.
They never fulfill their roadmaps. And actually quite incredible how since 17-18 cycle, we've had billions invested in this ecosystem. We've had some of the smartest minds in the world working crypto. And there's still not one project that you ask Joe Schmo walking downstairs has ever used. Besides maybe Bitcoin and stable coins.
Even these ones that were mining it, and we're using laptops to mine, nobody's mining them. The way these coins have been keeping their price or been going up in price, just people buying into them.
Yeah,
Who's mining these coins?
The only reason people get into crypto is the greater fool theory, which they hope one day someone else is going to buy this coin for them for more. But that's why I like meme coins because it's the purest form of that. There's no lies. There's no we're going to this is the Google of Web3. This is going to revolutionize this. On the blockchain. All these crazy promises. None of those projects from last cycle have ever fulfilled their roadmaps.
Yes.
Now they had these all 10-year roadmaps.
I remember VeChain. I got invested. I invested so much in VeChain.
It's going to revolutionize. This the whole transport routes and everything is going to be on chain. Yeah, I mean, all of these, it's all been a lie. So people are tired of that. And that's why meme coins are becoming so big. It's because it's no lie. It's a picture of this cute dog. Yes, exactly. It's going to get wrecked 100% at some point, but maybe you'll get in early. Maybe there's something this. And it's community-based. It's fun-based instead of these lies. And you have, it's riddled with insiders and there's these seed rounds and they're going to dump on you very quickly. So overall, like meme coins are the purest form of crypto. And although it's extremely risky, like I can't recommend anyone to buy any single coin, but if you have an edge and if you understand and you know what to look at, then it's the most profitable place in crypto by far.
Yeah, interesting. There's this funny story about this king who was sitting in his palace and like a poor guy walks in, comes to him and he's like, I have a really good opportunity for you. I'm a farmer. The king is like, what's this guy doing here? Like he's wearing like torn up clothes. He's like, listen, the season's about to come where I'm going to grow a crazy amount of crop, but I have a very small piece of land. You have access to a lot of land that you're not doing anything with. Give me access to it. I'll grow my crop there and I'll make you money. The king is like, amazing. It sounds like the best deal ever. He's like, all right, how much land do you want? He's like, I want like this XYZ square kilometers. He's like, okay. He arranges tells this guy, yo, give him that land, let's get some money. A few weeks later, the guy comes back to him and the king thinks, here's my farmer. Where's my money? The farmer's like, listen, about that, we're doing things are going well, but like if you give me a bit more land, I'm really sure I can give you a bit more money. He was like, okay, fine. The king was like, man, like, I really thought this guy's gonna come in my bag, but okay, fine. He tells this guy, give him some more land. A few months go by, and the king's waiting. He's telling his guys, go look around for his farmer. Where's my money? The farmer comes back by himself. He's like, you've come back. Where's my money? I see you're not holding any bags of cash with your coins. No gold. He's like, look, I just need a little bit more land. A little, like the season's here. We're doing so well, but just give us a little bit more land. Trust me, the return's going to be huge. So the king got frustrated. He said, look, take this stick. He had like this shaft. He's like, take this stick. Walk outside my palace. Walk as far as you want. And the further you go, from the first step you take outside my palace till the place where you put the stick down and shove it in the ground, all that land is yours. So he told him to do this. And the guy gets up. He's like, are you serious? He's like, yep. Take as much land as you want. The king was like, I'm ready. Like, the season's here, yeah? He also wanted to teach the guy a lesson. The farmer went, and he never came back. He fell off the face of earth. Basically, he went, and every time he thought that he'd put the stick down,
Just a little bit more land.
a little bit more land, until he just died. Age got to him. But the story is obviously a joke. But it's a good point where, like, we talk about, you know, if you think that the time is coming, you think you might be at a point where it's going down, it's better just to take your profits, because at the end of the day, like you said, you can't go broke taking profits. The only thing is, I feel like what some people argue is that, like, for example, where Bitcoin is now, it's never been that high before, right? So, and there's like this quote from Warren Buffett, like, time in the market beats timing the market. What do you think about that? And also, while you answer that, also tell me what you think about NFTs, because I'm so curious to hear your opinion on NFTs now while they're so devalued.
Yeah. I mean, to touch on timing the market first, I think crypto has been super cyclical. Like, every time we say, okay, this is 4-year cycles, this is halving,
Yes.
but just because it has been repeating doesn't mean it's going to happen again.
Yes.
I think it's going to become less and less important, but also the halving, if you think, you know, every time the blockchain gets cut in half, so basically you have 64 Bitcoins per block, then 32, then 16, then 8, then 4, then 2, but every time it becomes less incrementally important.
Yeah.
The drop from 4 to 2 is only 2 Bitcoin difference per block, but from 64 to 32, that's a 32 difference per block. And already, you know, 90% of the Bitcoin has been mined. So you're only fighting incrementally lower on this last 10%. So the halving has less of an effect. Like, mathematically, there's less Bitcoin being affected. So it's more the psychological. When everyone thinks it's going to crash, I'm going to sell, and then I'm going to buy it, these things become self-fulfilling prophecies, because everyone takes profits, it gets wrecked, it keeps getting wrecked, and then, you know, people buy it, and then the new cycle starts again. And a lot of this is like very controlled, and people understand that, you know, there's these cabals in crypto that literally run everything. You know, there's a few exchanges, few key players that, you know, you see those videos in these like Chinese trading rooms with like 3, 2, 1 dump, and they just all sell Bitcoin, and it drops like $3,000, and they open up their shorts at the same time. And I've seen this happen in meme coins. People pay to get it listed on Binance, whatever exchange. They open up a bunch of shorts, and they all just sell. I mean, this is completely illegal, and this is market manipulation, but it happens in crypto because it's so not regulated yet. It's still such in its infancy. It's like pink sheets back in the day in Manhattan. So you have these few key players that run everything, but timing crypto is way easier than any other thing because of these cyclical things. But I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think buy Bitcoin now and forget it for 10 years. I believe wholeheartedly in crypto. And to this day, I'm like 98% exposed. Besides a few watches and a few things, I'm all in crypto and have been for years. Where else would I want my money? If you believe, you know, if you hold dollars, you're guaranteed to lose 8 to 10% a year. And when you have 100 million, you know, you're losing 8 to 10 million a year. That hurts. Yeah. So these people want to put their money somewhere. What's the most liquid? What can you move around anywhere? What's there no regulation with? That's Bitcoin. That's super attractive. You know, you can buy gold, and these people have very diversified. But if you just put 10% of that in crypto, that 10 million, that's easy to move. You can go pay anyone anytime. You know, there's no control on it. It's not going to inflate. So it's very, very attractive, you know, to beat out what you're guaranteed to lose in fiat. So, and people are tired of this fiat scam. You see how much money they're printing, you know, they're seeing where they're sending it. And Bitcoin is kind of like a vote against that. And, you know, the money controls the world. And I think Bitcoin will never become a currency, but I think it will become more like gold, because the US won't allow Bitcoin to become the currency of the world. You won't be able to control the currency of the world. And Bitcoin is too difficult to control. And they don't have, you know, it will become impossible for them to own a big supply. They'll have to spend, you know, hundreds of billions, if not trillions, to buy meaningful supply. They have to keep buying. No one's selling. Price keeps going up. So it become very difficult for them to control this. I don't think, even Jerome Powell was talking last night, and they said, we're never making Bitcoin, you know, in the Federal Reserve. And Bitcoin just tanked like literally like $7,000 from Jerome Powell saying that. So it's still a very risky asset. I still think we're early. I think $1 million Bitcoin isn't crazy. If you look 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
But overall in crypto, I think Bitcoin is a complete separate entity to the rest of crypto. Bitcoin long term, other coins, I would not hold any coin for more than one cycle. I think every coin by definition is fueled by hype, speculation, and there's always going to be something new on the block, a new shiny object, better tech, better influencers, better marketing. And you know, the shiny new thing.
But what about Ton? I mean, like Ton, yes, you're right. It has the Pavel behind it, which is can get tricky. But in terms of like it has like an app with how many million users?
900 million, yeah. So
almost a billion users.
Yeah. So everything in crypto and in business in general is distribution. So if you now have big influencers talking about it, if you have this built-in app, you know, that's 900 million eyeballs that they can get on Ton instantly. Yeah. So things that are just like an unfair advantage they call in these hedge funds is that you have these few things that these companies have. Same with Apple, it just has an unfair advantage in terms of they control everything. Yeah. So it's the same with Ton. They have this unfair advantage in terms of crypto because they have the best distribution. They have an actual usable product. They have good tech. So I'm a big fan of Ton. But still, I wouldn't hold any coin for more than the cycle. Even these great coins, I've seen so many great coins, and you know, get in them, make money, but you know, take profits and get out before the house of cards, you know, comes falling down. You know, only project I would feel comfortable holding longer term is Bitcoin. But in terms of NFTs, I think NFTs are. I hated them last cycle, and in the bear market, I've been buying a few, and I think it's going to be big. I mean, Pengu just launched 2 days ago. Pudgy Penguins is NFT. That's one coin I'm extremely bullish on. And you know, it's a meme coin, but it's not even really a meme coin. It's a utility coin. And you know, the Pudgy Penguin. It becomes like a culture. I mean, so Pudgy Penguins, they already, you know, sell their toys at Walmart, and they're building a game as well. I think it's going to be very much like, you know, Club Penguin. So I think Pudgy Penguins is building an entire world, you know, in this crypto. And
they've been talking about this penguin game for so long, but I didn't see it yet.
I believe in Luke and the long-term vision. That's one of the coins I've been buying. So, I mean, the last couple of weeks I've thrown in a ridiculous amount of money into that. And that's something I think by the end of the cycle, it'll be easily a top 20 crypto. I think easily a top 3 meme coin. So I believe quite heavily in Pudgy Penguins because it has such an elite team. It's such an easy to understand narrative, and they're bigger than just crypto. If you look at the views they're getting on these reels, I mean, like my girl sends me, you know, videos of Pudgy Penguins. She doesn't even know they're an NFT project, but they made this very good content, which is distribution. So they have a bunch of eyeballs on it. They have an incredible team, and they've got money to spend, and it's a very likable concept. It's easy to understand. I think a lot of these complex crypto projects, people are scared of now. They've been burnt by them. It's all these big words, this jargon. Whereas Pudgy Penguins is easy to understand. It's very friendly. It's, you know, easy to invest in. It's not this complex blockchain solution to whatever it is, Web3 jargon. NFTs overall, I still think it's very early. A lot of them are going to go to complete zero.
Any NFTs to buy?
Pudgy Penguins is the only one I feel comfortable saying. I think, you know, also the OG ones, you know, like the CryptoPunks and these type of things.
Think it's worth buying a punk now?
I think so. I had one for a little bit. I sold it at profit quite recently to buy Pudgy Penguins. But NFTs, I think overall.
How much profit did you make on that one?
On the punk, maybe like 30,000, nothing too crazy.
When did you buy it?
I bought it not too long after I was in Dubai here, so in like May after token 2049.
Have the punks gone up?
Punks have gone up. Punks have gone up since the bear market. Yeah, definitely.
Still priced in, like the bull markets.
Yeah, it has an effect. I think NFTs overall, I think they're still in the infant stage. The only use case for NFTs right now is profile pictures on X. You know, people want to show off that they own these things, but I think the tech itself is quite revolutionary.
That was the most.
Yeah, I think, you know, even similarly like mortgages, everything. I mean, already South Korea, they're issuing, you know, passports as NFTs, and so good luck buying alcohol with a fake passport when it's on blockchain. You can see your date of birth, all of this. So stuff like that is very useful, and the tech behind crypto and blockchain, that's one of the few use cases I can actually see with it. But there still is so much development. It's so infant stage. A lot of it is just speculation, no use case. But I think the OG one, same as Bitcoin, CryptoPunks is similar to like the Bitcoin of NFTs. It isn't the best tech, it isn't anything revolutionary, but because it's the first mover, it has a big advantage. And then I really like Pudgy, I like the coin, I like the NFTs as well.
Okay. So what some people might say is that they might say, well, if I invest everything in Bitcoin, I'm going to get a small return. And if I invest everything I have, and let's say, because you talk about one coin to have it to be Bitcoin, if I invest everything I have into BNB, the potential upside is probably a lot more just because of market cap. And also, if for any reason anything happens to Binance, the whole market will crash anyways. All the coins will crash. So what did you say to that argument? Because yes, realistically, you know, if Binance goes down, everything is going down. If Binance goes down, Bitcoin is definitely, they hold like how much Bitcoin? A lot.
Yeah, but I mean, so you have these key players that have been around. You had Mt. Gox back in the day. You had these big exchanges that have gone bankrupt. They had more market share back then than Binance has
Really?
now.
What's
yes,
that?
Mt. Gox. It's like the original. You had all these big exchanges.
What was the actual money in crypto at that time?
I mean, at that point, they controlled like a massive amount of like 50% of crypto buys.
But was there...
In terms of money, but that isn't as relative
okay.
because percentage-wise, you have more money flowing in anyway. So you had these big key players that have ran away with the crypto. Some of them, got regulated. Some of them just, had access to all these wallets and they just disappeared. And back then it didn't kill the network. I don't think Bitcoin at this point is very killable. Yes, it will take a massive hit. And that's what most people care about. Most people don't care about the revolutionary tech. They're in it to make money. If Binance goes down, of course, the market's going to get wrecked. But I don't think it will kill it. I still think, at the end of this cycle, the end of the cycle will come from regulation. These meme coins, all this is going to end. This, me throwing a couple $100 into something, coming out with 6 figures, like this isn't going to be possible forever.
How are they going to stop it?
They're going to completely regulate it in terms of the listing, in terms of the market manipulation, in terms of wallets getting in.
Can they stop?
Yeah,
can
they
stop
can.
Like a new coin coming out from Pump Fund?
Take down Pump Fund.
Yeah, but then a million other Pump Funds.
No. But it's always gonna be regulated. And you only need a few key players if they control, Phantom Wallet. If they, Solana itself has to do more due diligence.
Phantom's so new. Like even they control Phantom. It just came out like few months ago.
But it has so much market share. And when you make it, you always make an example out of these first people. They'll send them 80-year jail sentences. No one's gonna want to start up things like that. So we'll all be regulated. And I think that's where the downfall of this cycle will come.
Because I think also because it's international, I think like there's people sitting in Iran that have no fear at all of what's gonna happen in US or like what US can do.
But it can make it completely banned. I mean, there's certain, same with, good like buying drugs. You can try to get drugs from Iraq. Like it's difficult. You can regulate things pretty strongly. I do think there'll always be a well for it. But if the US says, they ban these sites, the volume is going to drop 80%, and Europe will follow. So it will still be possible, but we don't care if it's possible. We care if it's likely to happen and if there's money in it. So I think the end of this cycle will come from big regulation, and meme coins like they are now are going to get heavily scrutinized. I think a lot of people are going to get punished pretty heavily publicly, and that's going to scare off a lot of people. But while it's here, like this is the craziest opportunity to make money. Like where else do you see someone put in $20 in peanut and pull out 25 million?
Yeah,
like nowhere else.
I need some couple more coins to buy. And also tell me about your favorite chains. So like, do you like base chains, Arbitrum?
I mean, in terms of meme coins, I think Solana and ETH are still the king.
Okay, meme coins.
For meme coins, yes.
Solana and ETH.
ETH, and BNB, I think will also come back.
But these are not meme coins.
No, I'm saying meme coins built on these chains.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I think ETH meme coins have a way longer time frame. Solana meme coins, I'm in and out. If you see like the P&Ls, I think it's like, I usually go anyway 30 to 50K
so you
profit.
Don't believe in WIF, for example, or
too big. I mean, why get into WIF? Maybe a 3x. I mean, that's boring for me. I want to get into things, sub $1 million market cap. I look for the right things, and then it goes to 50 million. I'm out 50x. 2K into 100K, and then I'm out. I'm not there to stick around forever. And of course, it is risky, but I need upside. If I'm going meme coins, I'd rather invest in meme coins that are small and have upside. And if I want to base safer bets, I'd rather buy utility coins.
What's your portfolio like?
Right now, I have a lot of BitTensor, a lot of Tau.
Give me in percentages.
A lot of probably like 30%.
30% Tau.
30% Tau. Also similar, like maybe 28% AVAX. I have still about 20% in stables, and then the rest.
Stables like Tether.
Tether, and I spread my stables because USDC, and the rest is mainly meme coins. I hold a lot of Pengu now.
Wait, you said 60% in AVAX and Tau.
Yeah. Probably around 20% stables, and then probably 20% in meme coins. And in terms of longer term meme coins,
which meme coins? Yeah.
I mean, I'll get into some more degen ones. Okay, so start off with Pengu, which is Pudgy Penguins' coin. It's already at at this time of recording 3 billion market cap, but that's I think a mix of utility and meme, which is I like a lot. In terms of really low cap, shitters is Twiskers on Tron. I hold quite a lot of that. And with Solana meme coins, the time frame is too short because it's so accessible. There's so many JEETs that these things that they run up and they die. They run up and they die. So on Solana meme coins, I couldn't recommend any. On Tron, I like Twiskers. On Ton, I like Toncats. And for every chain, I try to have a bag of something. ETH, I'm still looking for a gem. And Solana meme coins, it's too short pace because of how retail focused it is. Everyone is in and out very, very quickly. And I don't want to give these tiny micro cap coins that are then gonna
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, no, not a fan. I made a lot of Joe Biden, but I very quickly got out of that. And the problem is with me recommending certain meme coins is my investments are so short term based that by the time this podcast comes out, they're already up 10x and they're already down 90% afterwards. But safe bets, I think Twiskers, Tonkat, and a couple other meme coins. But I think better would be for me to teach what to look at than specific things. Teach a man how to fish.
Yes.
So the three things you need to know are team. And for a lot of these meme coins, this is quite irrelevant. Undocs, nobody knows. So the next most important thing is narrative. What is this about? Is it this thing viral on TikTok? Is it, is it a funny joke? Is it completely nonsense?
Yeah.
Like you need to find out what is the story behind it, because that's what people are investing in. People wanting to get into meme coins to have fun and to sell it for more. So if you're thinking, you're looking at this meme coin and you're up 10x, would I buy this now? If the answer is no, then you should sell, because someone else isn't going to buy it. If you're not willing to buy it at 10 million market cap, someone else isn't either. So, that's how you should look at things. And then the third thing is kind of these certain signals you should look at. If it's, Cabal, look at the deck screen, look at the chart, look at the holders. These are the kind of more specific things. Look at the artwork they have, look at the Telegram, look at the X, who's following the X profile, who's talking about it. And the problem is that a lot of these projects, by the time you find them from your favorite influencers, that's all paid for. It's way too late. I'm the person often connecting these projects to these influencers, and these projects see these influencers as exit liquidity. By the time some undoxed person on Twitter is talking about it, they want people to buy in, so the team sells onto those buys because they pay $100,000 to have this big X profile talk about it. It needs to be positive ROI for them. They're not there to make this coin go to the moon for no reason. These people want money. So extra liquidity. So by the time your favorite influencers are talking about it, it's already too late. So, you need to be in these Telegram chats. You need to be looking at things yourself. Look at new pump fund launches, filter by, is the dev still in? Is, are the holders messed up? These type of things. And it isn't 100% hit rate, but because of the nature of meme coins, if you can have a decent hit rate and sell your losses pretty quickly and let your runners ride a bit. So I sell if I'm down 20%, I often just exit. So I'm entering usually like quite small, like only $2,000-$3,000 because it's a very high risk, and I'll do like 5 a day. And at least one of those will hit like a 10-15x if you know what you're looking for. So cut your losses small, and it can only lose $500,000 max at a time, but my upside is mid 5 to 6 figures every time. So it's a complete asymmetric bet, and that's what you're looking for in meme coins, is where your risk is lower, but your upside potentially is so much higher. And majority of people are just going to be gambling on coins. But if you know what to look for, and you know the right connections in the space, and you know these signs, is pattern recognition. This worked. Okay, this meme is very famous right now on TikTok, and for me that's been great because I'm so young and I'm tapped into very much of the TikTok space, which has become the biggest narrative, and some of my biggest plays the last couple of weeks have been coming from TikTok, have been coming from Reels, because these are things that other people can't track very care of. So get your competitive advantage. If you're super well versed in one niche, find that out. If it's AI coins, whatever it is, if it's meme coins on Solana or on Base. I know guys that only trade on Base and they're getting crazy returns, only trade on Solana. And so niche down and find a competitive advantage, because you can print so much money over. You just need one little edge and you can print ridiculous amounts of money from it.
Nice. Talk to me about, let's say, a day in your life. What's a day in your life like? Do you just wake up and just buy 2 coins and then just chill for the rest of the day?
So I mean, my day in my life.
You buy like 5 coins. So you just chill for the rest of the day?
So the day in my life looks now very different to when it looked when I was on the come up.
Of course, but now? So
nowadays, let me touch on both. So basically, when I was very disciplined, like for a very long time, like from around 14 to like 17, when I was like really dialed in, I was like making majority of my money as building everything. That's when I was extremely dialed in. I wake up around 4:30. I had the whole 3-hour morning routine: ice bath, meditation, breath work, because I thought this is what rich people do. And now when I have way more money than I have then, I can't say I do these things. I still do a lot of them. But so I'd wake up 4:30. I would journal, ice bath, meditation. I'd ride my bicycle to the ocean, which is very cold in South Africa. It's just deceptively cold. I would go there and I would sit in this cold water for 50 minutes. It's dark out. It's miserable. No one else is there. Rough sea. And just be cold exposure. This before I bought an ice bath. So I would cycle in the dark to the ocean, and I would like sit on like the seabed, like just thinking, and it's freezing cold water in South Africa for anyone knows. And I would cycle back home, and I'd warm up with a cold shower. The water so that I would like rinsing the seawater off would be when we were warming up with a cold shower, and then I'd go to school. And until like a week ago, I had a full-time job. I think a lot of people use school as an excuse. I mean, I've built 7 figures, all the social media stuff, everything, alongside being in school every single day of the week for 8 hours.
And getting top grades.
And getting perfect grades.
Today you'll find out if he gets into Harvard.
Yeah, so my application is today, which is literally like a couple hours off this podcast, which hopefully will go well. But so Harvard, that was kind of the morning routine then. And
you want to get into Harvard just so you can drop out and be a Harvard dropout, you said, yeah?
I think the connection, I think it's overhated on university in general.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of people... I think a lot of people online, the Tates, Imans, these people are very critical of university, but also you have to take it with a grain of salt because they sell a product that is a rival to it. You don't need to go to university, but here's my course and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas I do agree that it's not necessary. I think university in general isn't worth it. But if you can go to one of these top schools, say Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, one of these ones, that there is value in it simply
value
because
what, to make like $100,000 a year?
No, I don't think
that's the average salary.
Yes, of course. And I'll never need the piece of paper. I don't think there's anything that I'll learn from this class that is going to be life changing. I don't need the piece of paper, but I think it's the verification badge in real life. A lot of these hedge fund guys, things like that, because I was still in high school, if I'd finished high school and I didn't go to university, I would have never gotten in. But they just assumed I was going to go to some university afterwards. But if you ever want to raise money, if you ever, if Zuckerberg went to Sequoia Capital,
that's true,
for money, and he wasn't Zuckerberg from Harvard, they would never even taken the meeting with him. So it opens a lot of doors. I don't think it's necessary, but the certain people value it very, very heavily. Yeah. So I think it is worth it.
Those people are kind of changing. Those people are changing their viewpoints. Even Google, they have announced that they're caring less about university. But of course, Harvard.
But it's similar to wearing the right watch to a lot of these people. I remember I was in Monaco and I was sitting with all these super rich people. All of them were worth 100 million plus. A couple billionaires there. And I'm sitting at this lunch table, and this is the first time they're meeting each other as well. So hey, this is so and so. I go to Wharton, I go to Harvard, I go to Stanford. They were all saying these big names. And then one guy that's just as successful as the rest of them, hey, I go to University of Tennessee, something random. And all of a sudden, everyone's just less interested. They turn their chair away a bit. Even though he's just as successful, it's like this materialistic thing. It's like having the Birkin, whatever it is for these people. It just shows
those guys, did they not drop out of universities?
Some of them finished, but a lot of them did. I don't think you need the piece of paper, but I think because it's such a high performer environment, that just the credibility of getting in is very valuable because it's such scrutinization process to get in. Not only perfect grades are just the start. Everyone is perfect grades. You're competing with all of Asia, India, China. I mean, these people, everyone has perfect grades, and you need something deeper than that. You need to be some Olympian athlete or done some crazy things in business. And that's kind of because it's so competitive, there's value in it.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything, sometimes I ask at the end of podcast, is there anything which I could have asked you that I didn't ask you, which you think is important? I wanted to ask you actually, you said that you follow the right people who give you advice on coins. Do you have a Telegram? Also, would you make your own meme coin? Number one. Number two, do you have a Telegram where you announce upcoming projects?
Right now, not, but by the time this podcast comes out, I will. I debated it because I never have taken on other people's money. I can sleep at night losing my own money, but I'll feel very bad losing other people's money. I've had days when I've woke up and I'm down $250,000 as a teenager, and I'm okay with that, but I'm thinking now, if I have someone's lost dollar that I lost as well, even though it was all the money I had at the time, I literally have gone broke multiple times along. And I would be less okay with it if it was someone else's money. So by the time this video comes out, I'll have a Telegram channel, but I'll always be wary in terms of, I'm not going to be, paid to talk about anything. I'm not going to send anything too degenerate. I've sent things I really have conviction in.
And you have a free course as well.
Yeah, coming live. Yeah. So I don't sell anything. A lot of people in the space have, some type of paid product. They have a course or coaching or anything. I make money from the markets. That's all I make money from. I don't get paid. I don't sell anything. And that is the selling point for me, is that I even have in my bio, I don't sell anything. It's a business choice. And I could right now, start up some paid program and post a story, and I think easy have 100K of whatever crypto course I start. But I'm not really interested in that. I'll create a free course that should give all the value that's better than all the $5,000 products, created completely for free, which will be, I've been filming it here in Dubai, so it'll be out by the time this podcast comes out. But I'm sure you'll see me on your feed at some point. I'm taking the content a lot more seriously. I mean, I was
already have 300K followers.
Yeah, I was doing it for a while quite actively, and then I completely stopped as I've been making a lot of money for crypto, because there's no ROI on it for me. I don't sell anything. I'm paying editors and paying these type of things. It's just kind of a black hole for money. But I'll get back into it with the free course and purely off affiliates. I mean, that's the earning model. I'm not some saint as well. Of course, everyone is doing anything for different reasons. But yeah, I don't sell anything. I'll have a Telegram and a free course out for people to check out if they want to.
You want to launch a meme coin?
I could launch a meme coin and profit probably 1 to 2 million very, very quickly. But someone's going to lose then, because the difference with meme coins is that it's a net negative. Yes. There's no money coming from nowhere. It completely. If I make 100,000 from this meme coin, there's going to be 1,000 people that lost $100.
It's the same thing when you invest in them. When you invest in one and it goes up and you sell, someone else bought that loss.
Completely.
So it's the same thing.
But with me making it, then they're because it's mine and they trust in me. So I wouldn't want anyone that trusts in me to lose money.
Yeah, but I feel like when you announce that I'm making a meme coin, you're announcing that, listen, I'm making you a chance where you're either gonna make a lot or you're gonna lose a lot.
No,
Like,
completely.
That's inherent in the.
I'm not
definition.
super against it. Maybe at some point, but it need to be bigger
Maybe you
than just
already
me.
have one, but it's behind the scenes.
Maybe. But if I were to put my face publicly to anything, I'd want it to be run very well, and I'd run it less like a meme coin. And every meme coin goes up and
More
goes
like
and
a
dies.
utility.
No, it would be a meme coin, but I have some ideas. I'd run it different. The entire structure of a meme coin right now is
That
different.
had like this crazy, like you put the helium and.
Yeah.
or
All
helium,
bullshit. It's all smoke and mirrors. That's all these crypto projects are.
That's why I hate the utility ones.
Yeah.
Man.
So meme coins are fun, and I think it's the only place in the world where you can make really life-changing money very, very quickly. And everyone likes quick money, but quick money isn't easy money. There's definitely an aspect of luck in it. And I say I got lucky often. Now, leave me, I'll be lucky and I'll stay lucky. I'm hitting these coins every day, so I must be the luckiest guy in the world if it's purely luck.
Yeah.
I'll stay lucky. I don't mind being lucky.
Yeah, there's a nice video where Andrew Tate is like, I always believe I'm lucky. He's like, why would I believe I'm unlucky? It's like, if you believe you're lucky, you'll always be lucky.
Completely.
And the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Completely.
Mourits, thank you so much. Any last words before we wrap this up?
Thank you for having me.
Sorry,
That's all.
Maurits.
Yes, I'm easygoing. Maurits. Thank you so much for your time. I
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Check him out, guys. I'll leave all his socials in the description. What an interesting guy. This is such a nice chat. I actually learned a lot, bro, so thank you. Check him out. Links will be in the description. And look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
Thank you
Peace.
so much.